Hi everyone, welcome to the Dataholics YouTube channel. And in today's video, we are going to understand the concept of sorting and filtering in Excel. Sort and filter, right? So as we have already discussed in the previous basics video, we do have a sort and filter functionality right here in the home tab, as well as we do have this functionality in the data tab. But if there is some complex kind of sorting, or if you want to achieve the sorting and filtering using inbuilt methods, functions in Excel, then we can use this sorting and filtering function. Let us see how, right? As always, before begin directly jumping into the concept, let us understand the data. So the data which we have is sales date, region, state, city, product, quantity, price per unit of the product, sales amount, right? So basically it's a kind of sales data in which we have the date of the sale, in which region the product was sold, which state, which city, what product, and how many quantities, pricing per unit, right? And the sales amount, correct? So this is the data which we have. And now let's say it is asked us to sort the data by state in descending order. Correct. So one of the very easy option is that like we can select this data and we can just go to the sorting tab. We can sort this data based on the state column and so on and so forth. Right. But right now I want you to explore the option of sort function. Right. So let me write it the sort function here. Understand it me like sort. Right. So as soon as I write SOR, so SOR, it suggests you two functions, sort and sort by. Sorts the range of array, sorts the range or array based on the values in the corresponding range of array. So let's say first explore sort function, right? And I press tab. It is asking for 3-4 arguments. The first argument, guys, is array. So what is the table? What is the range? What is the array which you want to sort? Second option, sorting index. By which column do you want to sort the data? For example, if I select, okay, so array mein, if I select this table, like all of these columns from A to H and the rows from till 1001, correct? Control backspace, I will go to the formula again, A1 to H1001, comma. Second, sorting index. So, sorting index basically means by which column do you want to sort the data? It is asking for the index of the column. So let's say I want to sort the data by the state, city, product, quantity, price per unit or sales amount. Let's assume I want to sort the data according to the sales amount. So see, if you count from column A to column H, that is sales amount. So it is 1 sales date, 1 column 1, region is column 2, state is column 3, city is column 4, product is column 5, 6, 7 and sales amount is column 8. So I will write A1 to H1001, comma 8. 8 means column index, by which column I want to sort the data, comma, sort order. Now in which order do you want to sort the data? Ascending order or descending order? So let's say I want to sort it by descending order, so -1. If you want to sort it in ascending order, +1, so -1, right? If you use this formula and press enter, another table will be created, but right now I'm not going to press enter because besides this I already have the data, right? So if I press enter, what you will see, let us try to see, enter. So it is giving an error, hashtag spill. What does that mean? Because it wanted to create a table right from this I2, I3 till the last, right? And so many columns and so many rows. But it has some data besides this. So it cannot create a table, that is why it is giving an error, right? So let me copy the same formula and paste it here. It will again give the error because besides this it has data. See the formula in this cell, J2, right? This is the formula. Sorting, range, third column, that is the state column, and -1 in descending order. So by this we are sorting the data in descending order of the state. See, Tamil Nadu, the state from T. So then after Tamil Nadu it is followed by Maharashtra, then it is followed by Karnataka and so on and so forth, right? So according to any column which you want to sort the data by, you have to use this formula accordingly, right? I hope you understand, and this is the point which I wanted to make you clear. Then let us see how do we filter the data, correct? To filter the data, again the formula is very simple, guys. Let us understand, filter, filter, correct? So again it demands 2-3 arguments. First argument is array. So the table, the range which you want to filter from. Second, include. So you have to give a condition, what values do you want to include in that filtered data. So for example, I had the whole data and I wanted to filter the data for Mumbai. That is, the city is equal to Mumbai, right? So the formula will be C. This is the formula. Filter array will be A22H1001, the whole table from the column 1, right? Sorry, row 1. Second, what do you want to filter by? So column D, that is the state column, sorry, city column, right? So D2 to D1001, the whole column, I selected the whole column is equal to Mumbai. So this is the criteria which you want to filter according to, correct? Then if Mumbai is not found, then what? If it is not found, then print not found. Basically, it is an optional argument. But if the filter is empty, if it is not able to find any value, it is an empty value. Then what do you want to present? So not found, right? So it's again only three arguments: the whole table from which you want to filter. Second, the condition according to which you want to filter the column name is equal to the value. Third, if not found, not found, right? So that these are the three arguments for filter column, and press enter. The data will be filtered according to the Mumbai only. So see, if you scroll this data, it is only for Mumbai. Correct? That is how we get the filtered data. Okay, I'll just show you one thing, guys. Let's say I copy the same formula here. You see the whole table is created because it is creating the whole table according to the filtration condition. Correct? So if I say, let's say instead of Mumbai, if I say Noida, see, it is saying not found because this is the argument which we are given. Okay, if we do not give this argument, then see what happens. Noida, it will not found Noida. It is giving an error. Correct. So generally, what happens in the real world, we do not usually want errors. We will give some values to encounter those errors. So instead of showing this error, I want it to present if not found. Then I want it to present comma not found. Right, so it is not found. It looks better. At least it is not giving any error. The program will not terminate in between. That something like that, right? So let us do a quick exercise, guys, on this filtering and sorting. Sort filter exercise. Okay, so we have the same data, very similar data, and so already we have seen how to filter the data. Filtering is the, we have selected the whole table. Then D4 to D1003, the city column is equal to Mumbai. Then we have to sort the data. Sorting is equal to this. Okay, but if I want to sort the data after filtering, so either there are two options. Either I can select the array from this to this array from J to Q column and whatsoever rows. But if I do not want to sort the filtered data, I can take it filter function inside the sort function. See what is the function. So first we have taken the filter function is a bracket, the range, the value which we want to filter according. Right. This is the first argument to the sort function. First argument means the array. This is the array, the table, the output table of this filter function formula is an input to the sort formula. Again, I'll repeat. The output of this filter function will act as an array, as an input to the sort function. Then after this filtering, I want to sort the data by 8th column, which is again, I think, the sales amount, and in descending order -1. If I make it 1, it will be sorted in ascending order, right? So this is how do we practice sorting and filtering by the formulas, right? As soon as I press enter, the whole table will be created in this scenario, right? So that is how we use sorting and filtering function apart from inbuilt capabilities, right? So I hope you are able to understand. We are going to discuss the concept of pivot table, pivot charts, and slicers in Excel, right? So again, as always, before directly jumping into the topic, directly into the concept, let us understand the data. Let us understand what is pivot table and why do we use it, and then we will proceed on to the further topics, right? So I will only use Excel to explain you everything, right? So the data is like, let's say we have the sales data like order ID, date, region, salesperson, product, category, quantity, unit price, total sales, discount, and profit, right? So this is the order ID unique to every order. Date. Now see that, guys, date is not in the proper column. So what we can do is we can select this date column and come to the date number format. Come here and press short date, right? So see, now it is actually converted into date. So this is one of the data cleaning steps. Then we have region, in which region the product is sold. The order was from which region. Salesperson, which salesperson helped you to convert that order. Which product was sold, which category of product was sold, what is the quantity of product sold, unit price, total sales. So total sales is already given. We can also calculate it using a unit price multiplied by quantity. correct? Then discount percentage maybe, or then the profit, right? So after from total sales, after excluding the discount, we can also calculate profit, but in this scenario, it is already given, right? So let us understand what is the pivot table, right? So in Excel pivot tables, if I come to the insert tab, here is an option of pivot table. When you hover over it, see the definition guys in your systems. A pivot table is easily arrange and summarize complex data in a pivot table. So basically, whenever we want to do any aggregation on any numerical column, whenever we want to summarize the data based on any columns, then we can use pivot table. Example, let's say I have laptops sold in different orders. So if I want to see the total number of total quantity sold for each product, correct? So let's say I have this product like is equal to unique. If I show you the example, what I mean to say is, if I see the unique products. Correct. We have laptop, mouse, keyboard, monitor, printer, chair, and desk. Correct. And if I want to see the quantity, we can easily see. Let's say laptop is for 5 quantity here, and then laptop is 3 quantity here, and 4 here. Correct. So it's 5, 3, 8 plus 4, 12. Right. So this is 12. We can also use this, do this using SUMIF function. But anyways, so not using this. In this context of this video, we are going to understand pivot table. So let us see. Similarly, let's say the quantity of mouse was 25, 15, 16, 25, so on, and 12, and let's say 12, right? Just assuming it. I'm not wasting much of the time. But I can directly get to this data using pivot table. That's very easy for us. How do I do that? I'll show you. Let's say I select this data. Even if you do not select the data, it will ask you to select again. Select the data, click on insert pivot table from table or range. I am going to insert pivot table from this table. We can also use external sources to create the pivot table. Okay, so see the table, the range which we have already selected is already present there. Had we not been, if we have not selected the table, directly clicking on the pivot table and table range, it will be blank initially, but it is already selected. So, okay, let me show you. It is not selected right now from table range. Okay, it is selected because we have done that previously maybe. But yeah, so table range, I hope you understand that this is the table on which we want to create a pivot table. Now, do you want to create a pivot table in a new worksheet or existing worksheet? In existing worksheet, it will be created as somewhere in the same sheet. But I want to it to be very clear, so I will say new worksheet. In existing worksheet, it will be in some existing worksheet. Okay, new worksheet. Okay. So see, this is our pivot table created. But you will see, sir, where is that? Okay, it has given us options to create the pivot table, guys, right? So let's say I wanted to see the product by sales. I will drag the product and take it to the column section. So column section, it will be horizontally distributed. But if I take it to the row section, it will be like vertically distributed. So whichever suits you better, it is okay, right? Let me zoom it. Right, guys? And then in the value section, I want the quantity. Okay, see the sum of quantity. Now, if you click on the sum of quantity, you can also see value field setting. So, in some of the cases, you want to calculate somewhere you want to calculate the count, average, maximum, minimum. So, you can use any kind of aggregation depending upon your use case. For example, if the quantity was not given according to this, I would have used count of order IDs, right? So, depending upon the data granularity, what kind of data is presented to you, right, guys? So, this is the thing. And okay, so this is, let's say for now we have to use the sum of quantity. Okay, and the column name which you want to give, if you want to change it, you can definitely change it. So this is how pivot table is created. Again, if you also want to add a filter over it, for example, region, so just drag the region and take it to the filter column, right? So see at the top you can see the region filter. If you want to see the total sales, it's okay, all. But if I want to see the sales of each product in the east region, I will select the east option and click OK. So see now the data is filtered according to the east region. Similarly, if you want to filter the data according to the south region, we can do it like this, south region. If we want to see the overall data, we can do it like this, right, guys? So this is how we create a pivot table, pivot chart. Okay. Always remember one thing: we will only get this option when we are active in this pivot table. If I click somewhere else, this option is gone. Click here, it is again there, right? So this is about filter section, row section, value section, and the column section. Okay. Now let me tell you again one thing. So let's say if I want to see in how many orders chair was ordered, number of orders, correct? So what I can do is I can again take the order ID because number of orders, order ID, I can pull it and drag it to the value section, and it is sum of order ID by default. But it is not sum. This time I have to use the count function because I want to see in how many orders chair was ordered. So how many orders means count, right? So count of order ID, that means 2, 2, 2, 3, and so on, right? So these are the number of orders in which this product was ordered. I hope you are able to understand the different kinds of aggregation, sum, count. Similarly, you can say average and all of other stuff, correct? So that is how do we create a pivot table. Now, if I want to take this pivot table to another sheet for some other purpose, for some other perspective, so I will just copy this pivot table, copy, create a new sheet, and I will paste it here. Correct, guys? So by default, it is right now it is pasted as values. Sometimes it is pasted as pivot table itself. So what we do, we right click and we go to the paste option, correct, and we choose this option 1, 2, 3, paste as values, correct, guys? So in this scenario, it is already pasted as values, but yeah, telling you that if you want to paste it as values, that means no pivot table concept is used here, so you can use the paste as values option, correct? This is one of the examples. After this, so this is how we do create a pivot chart, a pivot table, right? I think that's enough as a beginner for you to understand. Okay, yeah. Also, when you click on pivot table, you see an option on the top tab, pivot table analyze, correct? So you can do lots of different settings here. For example, if you want to add subtotals, if you want to remove subtotals, you can do it from all of these options, sum of quantity, field setting, active field. Just explore a bit, right, guys? So it will be really helpful for you guys. Now, let us see about slicers. So when I go to pivot table analyze option, we have an option of insert slicer. So what does it do? Use the slicer to filter the data visually. So for example, if I insert the slicer, it is asking on which column do you want to filter. So let's say I want to create a slicer based on product column. Okay. Another slicer based on let's say category column. Okay. So see, these are the two different slicers created in front of me. Let me make it shorter. Correct. This is the first slicer, and this is the second slicer. Let me again make it shorter. Right, guys? I hope you are able to understand this. Right. So now this is the overall sale. Now, if I want to see the sales of let's say furniture category, so I will click on furniture. The data will be filtered accordingly. Electronics category, accessories category. Let's say all of them. We can do all of them as well. I can remove the filter slicer, right? So similarly, currently all the products are selected. See, all are highlighted in blue. But if I want to see the sales of laptop, keyboard, desk, chair. So this is the purpose of slicer. Now, why is this beneficial? Because it allows us to filter the data very easily, very just a matter of click. Right? So whenever you create a large dashboard, let's say you are presenting it to your managers, right? The manager is related to the South India. So you have to filter the data according to South India only. But you have just after this meeting, you have another meeting with the North manager. So just by a single click on the region, you will filter the data according to the North region. So this is the major purpose of slicers in pivot tables. Correct? Where do you find it? You find it in the pivot table analyze section. Correct? Then you can also refresh the data if the data is changing. You can change the data source also. So see, currently the data source is this table, this whole table. But let's say there are few more records added after this. So we can even change the data source. We can select like this. So we can change the data source by which this pivot table is created. How do we do that? Pivot table analyze, change data source. For example, if I click on it, you will see the previous selection. But let's say I want to add one more row. I can do that. Like for now, there is no data in those rows. So I'll not do that. But yeah, I think I was telling you that you can do this. You can change the data source from which the pivot table is being created. After that, I think, yeah, that is majorly all the options. After this, you can also create pivot charts. Right. First, let me remove the filters from here. Remove all the filters. Okay. Now let's say I want to create a pivot chart out of this. So again, I will go to pivot table analyze. I will click on this option pivot charts. So when you hover over it, guys, see it is giving you the definition. Insert a pivot chart tied to the data in this pivot table. So the chart will be created according to this pivot table only. Based on this pivot table, if you want to create a chart. Okay, let's do that. So these are the different types of options like templates, column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, area chart, scatter plot, maps, so all of these stuff. So just as a for domain understanding, I will give you a quick assignment, guys, and read about which types of charts and graphs are useful for which type of visualization. For example, if you have 3-4 different categories and you want to compare the sales maybe, then pie chart is more suitable than any other chart. Line chart we generally use when we have to see the trends and patterns over the period of time. On x-axis we have time, like for example share market. So we have the price of the share and the time, 2010, 2011, so on. So when you want to see the trend and patterns over a period of time, then line chart is more preferable, right? Scatter plot, we generally use a scatter plot when we have two numerical columns to compare. Correct. So there are different purpose for different column, different types of charts. I would suggest you to read a bit about this. So for now, let's say we have 7 to 8 categories. I'm going to choose bar chart. Okay. So bar chart. Okay. Now see on top of this pivot table, we the bar chart is created, right? Okay. Let me drag it and put it here side on side. Let's say below this pivot table, right? So see, everything is copied. The region filter. So in the chart also we have a region filter, and then the whole all the different products there and the values. So values are two. Count of order ID. The orange one is the count of order ID because we had two columns in this pivot table, and the blue one is sum of quantity. Now you can modify, edit this pivot chart also. For example, if I go to this option, you can change the style, you can change the color, background, and all of the other stuff. You can also change the color. For example, this blue and orange color is used. You can change the color also. But I will show you some important options. Like when you click on this plus icon, if you want access titles, you can do that. Like for example, on X. So for now, it is already present here. Products. This is the slicer, I think. Yeah, this was a slicer. So on when we click on the title, access title, we can get the titles here. Like for example, products. Correct. And on the x-axis, we can give the range because there are two things on this. One is order count of order ID and the sum of sales. Otherwise, we could have used those column the access title. Plus icon again. We can also use the chart title. So this chart title. Let's say the chart title is pivot chart, for example. Correct? Okay. Then we can even modify it. Like you can make it bold, you can make it italic, underline, left align, right align, whatever you want to do, you can modify it according to your purpose. Then data labels. It will give you the values over the bars. So now this is overwhelming because the bars are too close to each other. Now I think this is much clear. Correct? So data labels option. Similarly, you can also create a data table. Apart from the chart, it will also give you a table. Error bars, grid lines. Grid line is also already there. Legends. So this values count of order ID and sum of quantity. This is already legend. If I uncheck this, the legends are gone. Right? If you want to see the trend line also, you can do that. So on which column do you want to see the trend line? Sum of quantity. So see the sum of quantity. Correct. So in this particular data set, I do not want to see the trend line, but I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. Let me quickly remove this column from here, and this pivot table will be much more easy. I remove the count of order quantity column. Now I think this is much easier for you to understand. Let me, see this whole pivot chart. Right, guys? So this is the sum of quantity. This is the product slicer. Then this is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. These are the values. These are the bars. These are the data labels. This is the chart title, and this is just a legend. Correct? So now I can easily say on x-axis it is nothing but sum of quantity sold. Right? So this is how do we create a pivot chart out of the pivot table. I hope you are able to understand this now. Right? If you have any doubts, any questions, just put it in the comment section. See, when I use the slicer, it is acting on the pivot table as well as the pivot chart. See, guys? Why? Because this pivot chart is created on top of this pivot table only. Remove the filter, removing the filter, that's all. Right? So this is how do we create a pivot table, pivot chart, and slicers. So that was the agenda of this video. I hope you are able to understand this. I have a few questions to give to you as an assignment, right? So we have seen product by sale. Now you can also explore total sales by region, total sales person's performance. So total sales done by each salesperson, category by sales, discount impact. So explanation of this discount impact is given here. Read it. top selling product. So let me just give you one example. Let's say I want to see the total sales by region. So what I will do, I will go to insert tab, pivot table from table range. The table is already this table. See now this time row number 22 and 26 is selected because my cursor was active on that cell. I do not want this. I want the table from A1 till the right and till the bottom. Okay, this is my range. In a new worksheet, okay. Right now we have to see the region by sale. So what I will do, I will drag the region to the rows and I will drag the sales column into the values. So see, now this is the pivot table which is created region by sale. Correct. Now let's say if I want to create a slicer on the basis of region also, so I can do that pivot table analyze and we go to slicer and we create a slicer for region. Okay. Now this is a small slicer for us, which will allow us to filter the data easily. Now let us say if I want to create a filter for, let's say, category also, so I will drag category and put it into the filter column. Just a quick revision. So see on the top we have a category filter. So let's say I want to see the accessories sale in all other regions. So these are the accessories sales in different regions. So I can see in the north region accessories are not being sold. Correct? This is the insight. Then let's say if I want to see any other thing, you can filter out the data accordingly, right guys? So this is the thing. Now on top of this, I want to create a pivot chart. So I will just go to this insert chart, and this time let's say I want to see pie chart. So okay, pie chart like this. Now this pie chart is beautifully created on the basis of this pivot table. See guys, right? Now if I want to do some things like let's say chart title, data labels also. So this is the total sales. You can do also some kind of calculation if I want to do the percentage. If I want to align this legend to the left, let's say left. So it will be shifted to the left. Right. So these are all the different types of analysis or something which we can do in the pie chart. We can also change the colors and all style of the pie chart like this. This is looking more beautiful, I think. So it depends upon the individual also. So this is how do we solve question number 1. Region wise sale. Similarly, you can do salesperson performance, category wise discount impact, and top selling products. Once you do these assignments, guys, please tell me in the comment section so that I am updated that okay, these tutorials are actually helping you, actually building your confidence, building your concepts in Excel, Microsoft Excel, right? So that's why we are going to cover the concepts of index, match, and XLOOKUP. Right, so these are very important topics, guys. Please pay much attention right to this videos. Please take your diary and pen, please take your laptop so that directly you can do the hands-on, right? So I'm Akshat Agrawal, guys, and let's directly cover to the topics. First of all, we will see what is match function. So see, according to the definition, match function is nothing. Match function is in Excel searches for a value in a range of cells and returns its relative position. So for example, let's say this is an array: employee ID, name, department, salary, and joining date. These 5 rows of 5 columns and first row. So this is a range of values. If I want to look for salary, so it will be 4, department 3, name 2, joining date 5, employee ID 1. Right. So it searches for a value in a range of cells and returns its relative position. The match function is case insensitive and it returns the position of the first occurrence of the value. So let's say in the same range, if department is returned twice, it will only return the position of first, wherever it is occurred first, right? So that is the purpose of match function. It works on a single column or single rows. Just take note of this. It can work on a single row or a single column, not an array like this. Right, so it works on a single row and single column. In this particular example, let us see how do we use match function with Vlookup function to make it more dynamic. Correct. So I assume you must have understood what are we going to do. So let's say, guys, I have a again a similar example: employee ID EMP005. Right, I've already created a drop down sheet. So here we can select different employees. So let's say if I select employee ID 10, it will return their salary, their department, and everything. Correct. Also, this time I have also given the drop down with the columns. If you want to see the name, directly name is there. If you want to see the salary is there. If you want to see the joining date, directly the joining date is there, name is there, right? So this is how we have created this VLOOKUP formula, very dynamic. That is very good use case, right? So first let me help you to understand the formula right here, and then we will write ourselves. So that is how we learn any topic, guys. First see it with me, understand it with me, and then try to write it yourself. So see, we have already understood that in VLOOKUP we have four different arguments, parameters. First, lookup value. So obviously the lookup value will be I3, EMP010. So see, lookup value is I3. Second, the table array, the whole table. Third, very important, the column index. That is where we have to use match function, guys. Now see very carefully. I want the column index to be dynamic. So if the user has selected name, so I want the column index of name, that is Q, in the whole table. If the user has selected from the drop down department, I want the column index as 3. If the user has selected salary, I want 4 because the column index of salary is 4. How do we get that? Let me show you the use case of match function first. Is equal to match. Now there are three arguments in match function. First, lookup value. So let's say I want to look up for salary. Let's say, okay, let me first write salary here. Okay, and is equal to match and salary. Lookup value is salary. Second, lookup array. So array is only this. I already told you match function only works for a single row or single column. Lookup array, comma. Exact match less than or greater than. I want exact match. See, it is 4. Like I so see, salary is on column number 4. Similarly, if I want to make it dynamic, I have to fix that. I have to fix the table array. I have to fix this H2, right? So let me fix it quickly. Function F4. Is equal to VLOOKUP. The first value is table lookup array. So lookup value. So lookup value is, let's say, employee name. No, okay, I'll have to write it here so that it comes corresponding. VLOOKUP. The lookup value is name. Sorry, employee 10. Right, guys? Is equal to VLOOKUP EMP010. This is my lookup value. Where do I want to look it for? In this whole table. This is the table array, comma. Now column index number. So I want the column index number to be dynamic. So I will use the match function match. So in match function, first is lookup value. So what is the lookup value? This name, name. This is my lookup value, comma. Where do I want to look it for? In this row, A1 to E1, comma, exact match. Correct? And I have to quickly fix it so that it does not change after fix the referencing. Fix it and exact match. So this is my match function. Match function bracket is closed, comma, return exact match or approximate match for VLOOKUP. Right now in this case I want exact match, 0. Or let's say we also write false, no issues at all. See, employee 10. Even if I drag this formula, guys, see it is NA. Why it is NA? Because it is I4 was not fixed. I3 was not fixed actually, right? So let me fix I3 first. I can manually do it like that. I before dollar before I, dollar before 3. Enter. Okay, it's again an error. Okay, so let me first copy it. Now it is employee 10. So again it is giving me the name, but I have to look for, let's say, this department. So what I will have to change is, instead of H4, I will have to, okay, yeah, here is H4 is there, department column. So I3 is this EMP010, correct. This table array is correct. In the match function, H4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 department, and this, okay, should give the department. Let me check, guys. I3, A1 to E30. Oh, interesting problem. Let me see. Yeah. See guys, our table array is different now. See, it is from A2 to A14. No, it should be fixed. I have not fixed it. Let me first fix it. A1 to E13. This should be fixed. Okay. So now we have to look for I3. That means AEMP010 in the whole table. Okay. Then the column index number H4. H4 means department. Enter. Let's drag this formula. Still, we are not getting the department. What is the difference? I3, H4, A1 to E1, H5. Oh, department is in 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth column. Okay. So our match function is okay. We did not have to fix this row number actually. We have to only fix the column because the column should be fixed, but the row should slightly go down according to the formula dragging.